Hey everybody, Matt and Madeline here for another episode of Mercury TV, and today I wanted to make a video about the GMMK Glorious Modular Mechanical Keyboard. Now there's already a ton of videos out there on this keyboard, okay? I bought it over a month ago after watching a lot of those, and I have a bit of a different take, which is why I thought that this warranted making a video, okay? It's going to be split into three parts. First is going to be the conclusion for all of you out there like me who hate watching a 10-minute long video to hear 30 seconds of a conclusion. Conclusion comes first here. Second is going to be kind of the really basic review of this keyboard, and third is going to be my thoughts into all of it, right? So for the conclusion, I don't know who should buy this keyboard. Simply because it's in this really weird middle ground between kind of what I would call tiers of mechanical keyboards, and I'll get into that in just a bit. But what I'm trying to say is that if you're buying this simply to be a 10 keyless brown switch ABS keycap with a half aluminum, half plastic case, then it's probably not worth 109 bucks. And I really don't know if this is the one you should go with. That's what you plan on doing. However, if you do plan on taking advantage of the hot swap feature of the switches, you might find yourself in another boat, which is the one that I'm in, which is you're kind of just stuck with the case that you're not terribly fond of, okay? So I just don't know if this, the way it is, I would highly recommend. I mean, if you really want to get into custom mechanical keyboards, I would recommend not doing what I did and buy the case that you want right off the bat, okay? Because I bought this, I didn't know a whole lot about the hobby, and now I am regretting the fact that I spent my money on this case. Should have just bought the one that I wanted, because I've already swapped out my switches and I've already swapped out my keycaps, okay? So, for the keyboard itself, in the box, you get the keyboard. It comes with ABS keycaps. It comes with, I bought the one that had Gatoron, or Gatoron, I don't know how you pronounce it, but brown switches. It has a USB-C detachable cable. It has a little switch puller tool, which is very handy. It's got a keycap pulling tool on the back of the keyboard. Yeah, and then it's got these swappable feet that go on the bottom of the keyboard. Now, as I mentioned, it has a aluminum top plate. It has an aluminum top plate with a plastic bottom, right? And it's got these single step feet, all right? What I mean by that is that a lot of keyboards nowadays have this little double step feature where you have this little tiny first step followed by a larger second step, all right? These only have the single step. The software, which I'm gonna have up on the screen, I don't really wanna do a full section on software. The software is standard Glorious software, which is actually really good, meaning that it works 100% of the time. At least I've never had a single issue with it. I've had issue with Logitech software, Razer software, SteelSeries software, HyperX software, my God. But I've never had any issues with Glorious software. It's simplistic, it works. Yes, you can't do as many crazy things as you could do with Razer software, but every time I open it up, it works, okay? So that's what's nice. And that's kind of it for the keyboard. I can't really do a full review of brown switches simply because switches are, in my opinion, a lot like flavors of ice cream. What I love, you may hate, and what I hate, you may love. There's no real right answer, right? I didn't like brown switches because the tactile bump is really, really weak, okay? I'm trying to think of like a good example. I've never used anything like browns before, but it's just, they aren't very tactile for a tactile switch. They're very smooth, which is a good thing for some people, but they almost felt linear to me. So I ended up going out, and this is kind of one of the problems with the keyboard, I went out and opted on buying some Cherry MX Clear switches, which set me back 70 bucks. So that's kind of circling back to what I was saying, which is, I don't know why I bought this other than to learn about the fact that I kind of made a mistake by not buying the case that I wanted right off the bat, okay? Because, like I said, I've already swapped out the switches and I've swapped out the keycaps on this keyboard. The font that the Glorious comes with is, in my opinion, just ugly. I think I heard a review where someone said whoever designed it shouldn't get a bonus this year, and I really couldn't agree more with that. I ended up putting my own PBT keycaps on there. And yeah, so that's where I am with it. All right, it's not bad by any means, but I just don't think you should buy it. Don't make the same mistake I did. If you're gonna get really into customizing your keyboard, buy the case that you want straight away. Come here. Did you find the goldfish? She found the goldfish. So, for kind of the final thoughts and just kind of letting y'all know how I got to this place. Mechanical keyboards and custom gaming PCs share a lot of characteristics in the fact that they have what I would consider to be like 4 tiers, okay? The first tier is straight up 100% store-bought. That's your mom going to Sam's Club or Best Buy and buying a Dell that comes in a big box, and in that box it's got the tower, the monitor, the keyboard, and the mouse, right? You can take it home, plug it in, and you're on the internet checking your emails, writing Word documents, whatever it may be, all right? The step up from that is gaming branded stuff, all right? That's the stuff that maybe it adds some lighting. If it's a computer, maybe it adds a dedicated graphics card, right? And it's a step up in some ways, but a lot of people still kind of look down on it, right? That's kind of like the second tier. Third tier would be what I would consider to be custom pre-built. I know that sounds really dumb, but think about like an iBuyPower or CyberPower PC that they have at your local Best Buy. You can swap parts left and right? It's kind of modular. You can kind of do like what this keyboard is, but it's not like full-blown custom, which is tier 4, which is you buy all of the parts, you assemble them, and even though there are plenty of other people who may have the exact same system specs, exact same components, it's not the same because it's not yours. You built it, right? The thing with the GMMK is that it, in my opinion, falls square in between tier 2 and 3 of those categories, right? It's a gaming branded keyboard and it's like a custom pre-built. And I'm regretting the fact that I didn't just jump into tier 4, right? I paid $110 to find out I didn't want to be at tier 3, custom pre-built, right? I didn't like brown switches, didn't like their keycaps, and now I'm finding myself not really loving their case. So I'm probably going to end up eventually buying a case that I want, but that's what I'm trying to make this video for. If you're like me, obviously if you stumble on GMMK, you're not brand new to mechanical keyboards, and you're also not a god at them, because mechanical keyboards as a hobby is just a freaking black hole, in my opinion, of it's insanity. You have people who take apart the switch itself, combine different stems, housings, springs, and make these Frankenstein switches. I will never get that deep into the hobby. I applaud the people who do. But for me, I just want a different case. I regret the fact that I bought this. I could have saved myself some money by just buying the $60 GMMK bare bones edition, right? But then I wouldn't have learned that I didn't like brown switches. So save yourself some learning pains like me. But yeah, it's not a bad keyboard by any means. It's just if you're buying it for the basic, I want a 10 keyless brown switch keyboard, you're overpaying. And if you're buying it because, well, I just want to find out what this is all about, you're going to find out soon that you're also overpaying. So that does it for the video, guys. I wish you could see my daughter right now. She is scooching across the floor on the GMMK box. So they do have a nice box. That's going to do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the section below. Otherwise, I will catch you on the next one. Hope you have a great rest of your Sunday. I know I will. Y'all take care. See ya. You can take stems and springs and housings from different switches and Frankenstein them into a new kind of switch. Hey, I'll tell you what, I'm impressed. We are like probably pretty far into this video, and that's the first time she chucked that mouse over the edge. Way to go. And way to go Razer for making a relatively quality product, that wireless mouse. I mean, it is built like a tank. It weighs something like a tank, so. Yeah, all right. Well, what do you want next? I can give you this bag. It's gonna make a lot of noise for the viewers, but whatever. Yeah, I just don't really know, like, if I am happy with my purchase or if I regret it. Yeah, so that was a bad idea. This was a bad idea.